Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts. That show, where we talk about seasonal anime episode by episode. I was about to say all in under 1 minute, but I'm glad I got there because that reminds me I have to let you guys know that Animinute is going to be going on a temporary hiatus. I'm not sure when I'll bring it back. It's just that the Deep Thoughts videos tend to go over a lot better than Animinute does. Animinute has a hard time working with YouTube's algorithm. YouTube tends to want more 10-minute plus kind of videos, and Deep Thoughts obviously usually reaches like roundabout maybe 7 to 15 minutes. Some of them have gone on a little bit longer than that, but the Deep Thoughts videos just sort of work better for what YouTube wants, and honestly, I'm having a lot of fun making them. They're a lot more fun. I do even I want to go a little bit, or at least add a little bit more editing to them. They are sort of more podcast-ish than they are video-ish, so I will in the future try to add a little bit more editing. But I should stress that Animinute is temporarily going on hiatus. I'm not saying it's gone forever, because it's my precious little project. I do want to bring it back in some way, shape, or form. But the thing is, with the way that with what YouTube wants, and in order for your channel to grow, you kind of have to play to the algorithm a little bit. And on top of that, you kind of have to upload a video every day. But on top of that, you don't want to upload too much. So initially, the idea was that I'd upload for Dororo example, right? I'd upload one an Animinute. And then a couple hours later, I'd upload the Deep Thoughts. But the thing is, if I do that too much, it sort of bombards people's subfeeds, and I just become more of an annoyance than anything. Doing that's not great in terms of views and in terms of audience engagement. You guys would get annoyed by how many videos you see from me, because not every day has just one show. Like Friday has 3. So that would get annoying. It's just, Deep Thoughts is just the way we're going to be heading. If that bothers you, I totally respect that. I'm really sorry. Hopefully Animinute comes back sooner rather than later. And hey man, if you want to take off, I totally understand. Now's a good time. No hard feelings. Not even a big deal. All of that said, let's go ahead and jump into this week's episode of Dororo. And I'm not gonna lie, folks. I wasn't feeling this one as much as others. I wouldn't say it was bad, because that's definitely not the vibe that I got. It was just sort of okay. And okay is not, it's not a rating normally associated with Dororo episodes for me. Usually the show at least gets bare minimum thumbs up. So to have an episode that I was sort of on is a little surprising. I don't really know what in particular happened with the team over at Mappa. I don't know if maybe they got some new animators on there, or maybe if it was a rookie director. I can't read kanji, so unfortunately I don't know. What I do know is that the animation in this episode was kind of janky. How do I explain it? Because it sucks, right? Because I can't just show you the footage without risking getting a copyright claim or strike or something like that. So, and I don't feel like dealing with another strike. So you're gonna have to just take my word for it, or go watch the episode. Go do that. It's on Amazon. But the best way I can word it is that the animation didn't feel very fluid. It sort of felt like they had maybe a couple keyframes and then just no in-betweens. Things just sort of jumped. There was motion. It did look like it was moving, but it's just little, it would jump ahead a little bit in weird spots. You can't see it, but I'm moving my hands like the characters in the episode. Basically, they moved the way William Shatner talks, if that makes any kind of sense. But it's not just that too. It's even the keyframes, right? The keyframes, which are usually the ones that are the moments in the episode that are supposed to look very pretty, whereas in-betweens are meant to look sort of janky. The in-between, keyframes are the ones that you hold on, or even just frames that you hold on, just in general, shots that you hold on looked like in-betweens. It was really weird. They would hold on characters' faces while they were just 2 dots and a mouth. And if we didn't let Dragon Ball Super episode 4 or 5 or whatever it was with Beerus, if we didn't let that go, I'm sorry, Dororo, I can't let you go with this, because, man, you're not Toei, you're Mappa. What the heck? I don't know, it was just weird. I couldn't get down for it. And on top of that, maybe I could have. you know what, maybe I could have gotten down for like, okay, the animation in this one's not that great, but at least we know we're getting a solid episodic story. Dororo has delivered nothing but solid episodic storytelling, except not this time. This time it felt sort of lackluster. Not in like a super lackluster, like I was like intrigued. It was just sort of like like it was like comparing a firework to a sparkler. A sparkler's still fun. I still have a good time with a sparkler, but I'd much rather watch a firework. And that's sort of what I felt like here. It wasn't like the worst thing I've ever seen. In fact, I'd say it was like it held water. Like it was a fine, decent episode. But by comparison to the other like one-off stories, this was really not that great. And it ended way too easy. Like just all of it, like, and it was a two-parter. This was a two-parter that could have been told in one episode, just because everything just sort of ends, like, and it's just sort of like wraps itself up. Dororo and Hyakkimaru just kind of saunter back out, and it was very sudden. I was just like, oh, okay, I guess the story's done then. They also stick to Homaru in here, and his appearance felt totally out of the blue. Now, I love Homaru. He's a character that I want to see more of going forward. It's just his whole appearance, like he takes up maybe 3 minutes max, but it just felt so like, oh, okay, we're here now. That's weird. Like, it just felt like it was there. Like they had to establish that Dororo and Hyakkimaru had split off, and we needed some time to pass. So instead of just showing time passing, we're going to show Homaru training with his like retainers or whatever. And it was totally jarring. It felt really bizarre. Now, before anybody gets too upset, though, that's not to say that the episode as a whole was super meh or boring, because there's cool elements here. In particular, that ghost and those ghouls had really cool design, especially the ghost. The ghost was really rad. I like the big baby-looking ghost that I was like, oh, okay, it's a neat design. A little weird. I'm not totally sure where they're going with this, but it's cool looking. And then, like, when Dororo gets cornered by the ghouls, which are, like, these, like, creepy-looking bug monsters, really cool designs, these, like, grubby-looking, like caterpillar-y bug monsters. They were really neat-looking. Dororo gets cornered by them, and then all of a sudden the ghost appears, and I was like, ah, cool, it's the cool baby ghost. And then to defend Dororo, you find out that it's not a ghost singular, it's multiple ghosts. It's like Ermac from Mortal Kombat, only a baby. Babality. The way the multiple different orphans like burst out of the ghost's head and like spun off into like these little like mini ghosts, these Casper looking ghosts. Those almost like Gotenks looking ghosts. It was really cool. Like it really caught me off guard. Really neat stuff with the design and the nature of the ghost and the ghouls. It was really neat. And I didn't even mention the butterfly. The butterfly or moth, whatever you want to call it, the moth looking ghoul. Also really cool looking, very impressive. And I will say, even though the individual story for this episode was lackluster, overall, the narrative is getting much stronger with the idea that maybe Hyakkimaru is the villain. Like not obviously he's not a bad guy. We know Hyakkimaru, he's a good guy, but he's sort of becoming more like locally known as a villain. Like more often than not, he is seen as the antagonist of the story. By comparison to the other characters, even Dororo is starting to be like, Hyakkimaru, like, big bro, come on, man, what's going on with you? And even I had a moment of like, what do you mean none of your business? Like, you just destroyed this village to get what looked like his spine back in a really cool scene, by the way. But it is this moment where he becomes more gray, which I love characters that aren't just like black and white, good, evil. Like, it's just, he's a very gray character. He's heroic in his action of killing ghouls and demons and stuff, but he's not doing it from a place of righteousness. Hyakkimaru is slaying demons because he wants to earn back everything he's lost. And I think that's really interesting as an overall narrative. And the overall narrative is what's really holding my attention, especially in these last 2 episodes, which have been just sort of okay. I fully expect the show to bounce back. It's Mappa. B, Dororo hasn't been bad up until, like, and it's not even bad right now. It's just sort of okay. And it's been great or awesome every other episode. So I'm fully expecting next week to be way better. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I don't have a whole ton to say this go round, but I really did enjoy this well, I shouldn't say I really enjoyed this episode. I had a decent time. It would get a rating of okay for me. It was a decent time. Felt like maybe I could have just gone for a walk instead. It's a lovely day outside, but instead I watched Dororo, and I don't feel like I wasted my time. It's still a okay episode. It was fine. And with that said, everybody, that's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are also cool with the whole in a minute temporary hiatus thing. I know I put up a poll, and about 70% of the gang over on Twitter said that they were totally cool with Animinute going away and Deep Thoughts taking over, and other people, about 30%, felt like said no. Although some people did message me saying I said no, but I meant to say yes, so I don't even know if that percentage is totally accurate. But again, like I said, if that really upsets you, I totally recognize that. Animinute may come back someday, and it may not. I'm not totally sure. But if that really bugs you and you want to take off, I fully respect that decision. You do you. No hard feelings. That said, if you do continue to support me, I sincerely appreciate it. And hopefully you guys enjoy where the channel goes from here. With that said, though, as always, I have to give a huge shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, in particular the folks in the Earl Grey tier, especially Omner Garamond, Veridin, Tristan, No For Nothing, Dominic, Evil, Urza, Caden Fate, Gabriel, Sipco Games, and Opinionated Slime. Until our next meeting, everybody, stay rad and don't scary.